All right, welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Do Hard Things Nation Weekly Wake Up. And I have in studio Angi Betran. Angi, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. I've got my coffee. I got a solid 7-ish hours last night. I'm good.
I went to bed early as well. I think I'm probably on 7 plus, even though I got up at like 4 this morning. I was in bed early. And last night was like 7 o'clock. We're eating dinner, and it was like felt like it was like midnight because it's getting so dark so early.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
That helps go to bed early.
Well, I'm excited that you're here. For those that usually watch us or listen to us on Mondays, it's been Tom, but Tom and I had been talking, and Tom has another commitment come up, and he's working on some other projects. So Tom will be back to collaborate and do some stuff. But in the meantime, Angi's here, and Angi's going to be taking the mic for the next unforeseen future. So excited to have Angi here, and obviously, we're coming at you at an earlier time of day. This is about 2 hours earlier than we typically record. So I think, Angi, are you a morning person?
Yes, I am. I'm a morning person. I'm a night person. I like to get up early and just, yes. Morning.
I like the idea of getting up early, but the actual like doing of the getting up early really is, I'm trying because, well, I read it in the Miracle Morning that not being a morning person is a limiting belief. So I'm trying not to say I'm not a morning person, but I naturally gravitate toward the nighttime, and I thrive at night more than I do in the morning.
Well, I like to exercise after work. So it's like on Saturdays when we get up for group run, that's great. Like I love getting up, seeing everybody going out and not going to run out. But I actually prefer exercising in the evening versus in the morning. So if I can just kind of switch that up, then I think I'll have it figured out.
If I exercise at night, it's hard for me to go to sleep.
Yeah, see, not for
I'm
me.
wired.
I just feel so good when I exercise at night. I don't know.
Now I do like going for a walk in the evening. Like when I go for a walk, like just around the block, like because it's so dark out, I feel really super relaxed. It feels really good, and I'll fall asleep. But if I like go for a run, like I'm wired. So,
do you take any supplements like pre-workout or anything?
In the mornings I do.
No, I mean if you exercise at night.
No, I don't do any of that. No, I try to cut my caffeine off at 5 because I know that caffeine will stay in your system for at least like 5 hours usually.
Oh yeah, I try to cut mine off at noon.
Yeah, even 5 might be too late. You're right. It's stuff takes a while to burn off.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep me up, so, but yeah, working on the sleep routine. But if I work out, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So Angi, I'm sorry, my nose is itching this morning. What? So if you're watching this, I keep rubbing my nose. It's like I can't stop scratching my nose. We don't do any editing here, so you get full everything around here. So Angi, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, so I am from Panama City, Florida. Well, I was born in Birmingham, Alabama, raised in Panama City, Florida. I'm 46. I have a 26-year-old son, happily married for 20-something years, been together for 20-something years anyway. I found my way here to Waynesville, Missouri through the military. My husband's retired Army. He's retired MP. And we've been here since 2009. Didn't think we'd be here this long. I love people. I want to make a difference in people's life. And yeah, I don't really have like a who am I? Like, this is me. This is what I do. I enjoy working out. I enjoy the health and fitness community. I enjoy meeting people. One of my most favorite things about being a military spouse was moving every 2 to 3 years, get to know new people, new environment, new job, new everything. Like I like exploring. I love traveling. I love running. I love roller derby. I love a lot of things. And yeah, that's it. That's me.
Roller derby is like a full contact sport. So that just kind of speaks to like, you're a very nice, kind person. But I can also see you like smashing someone against the wall, right? If you need to.
Yeah. Roller derby is amazing. And I'll tell you the thing that I love about roller derby the most is that, so let me just backtrack a little bit. So growing up, I didn't realize, thank you to society and the media, that athletes come in all shapes and sizes, right? Mm-hmm. So I was born in 76, but growing up 70s, 80s, I don't know if you remember like, what do they call it? Jazzercise, you know, and all the sports people, all the people that worked out, and that was uh, featured in magazines, they were just very stick thin, very looked one way, the men, the women, and until I was in my, I'm kind of embarrassed to say it, until I was in my late 30s. Yeah, late 30s, I didn't realize that athletes came in all shapes and sizes. And so roller derby really opened my eyes to that. I was just like, oh my gosh, like it doesn't matter what age you are, it doesn't matter what size you are, they are out there kicking butt. You've got people that are 4'9", 76 pounds, and you got people that are, 6 foot tall, 300 pounds, and they're out there doing it the same. And so I think that's what I like about roller derby.
Yeah,
It's
it's a very unique sport. I didn't really know much about it until I moved here locally. I think I saw some TV shows on it, but I didn't know much about it. And then there was a team here locally. I'm assuming the one
Wild
that you're
rollers.
on. Yeah, they've been pretty active in the community doing stuff. And then I just knew some people that were involved in it. I'm like, man, that's super interesting, super unique.
Formerly Wildwood Rollers, now it's the Roller Rockets. So
Yeah.
rebranded.
So on the topic of like your own transformation, like you had a pretty profound health and wellness transformation, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. So I have gained and lost over 100 pounds twice in my lifetime so far.
100 pounds.
Yeah.
That is
Like
significant.
a whole person gained
Yeah.
and lost, got rid of. Yes, twice. The first time, well, so I can tell you, I remember in third grade, this is so crazy. I'll never forget. So the summer of third grade, I don't know, maybe I didn't play outside as much, who knows? But I gained probably 10 pounds. Now, why should someone that young know this? But what happened was over that summer, we went back to school. Now I'm just a little bit chunkier than everybody else. And then I started getting bullied. What?
Mm.
Yeah, crazy, right? But I remember that's when it started because I would go home and talk to my grandmother about it. My grandparents raised me, and my aunt was there. She raised me up as well, and you know, and then at that is when I remember trying. They weren't educated in how to lose weight and nutrition and all of the healthy ways to do it. It was just like, okay, well, we got to cut back this, we got to cut back that, and that at that young age is when I started. Dieting, and trying to lose weight and trying to watch what I ate and just being super self-conscious of how I looked on the outside. And that just followed me throughout, throughout up until my early 20s. I had my son when I was 21, 21
Mhm.
ish, maybe something, I don't know. And then I remember I was off and I was watching Oprah Winfrey, and it's back when she lost all that weight and she came out on stage and she had these like 5 pounds, 10 pounds jiggly fats. And she's like, this is how much I've lost of this, this, this. And I'm like, if she can do it, I can do it. Right.
Yeah.
So then I went to the library because that's where we got our information back then. And I just started, I checked out her book and I checked out some other books. And that's when I tried to start educating myself on how to lose weight. And that's what I did. And so it took about a year and I lost 100 pounds through just learning how to eat right and exercising. Although, we know it's an 80-20 balance. Like you can't exercise off a bad diet. So I just got into a really healthy mindset and I was able to maintain that for 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the first time. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a significant accomplishment. 100 pounds. It's like I think of like my 14. Well, they're probably over 100 pounds, but they're pretty. I mean, that's a lot. It's a small human being, right? You carry around, or your dog, right? You got a large dog. It's like carrying that around. Or I think of a milk jug is 8 pounds, so it's like you're running around carrying like 12 of those, right? That's significant.
Yeah.
And so you lost it. You kept it off for 9 pounds. What happened to where that happened again?
So we were in Germany, and anyone that's ever lived in Europe and really embraced that lifestyle, it's a completely different lifestyle than here.
Yeah, beer and sausage.
Beer and sausage, but
The first thing I thought of.
right. Well, yeah, but they shop frequently, fresh foods, right? They shop very frequently. They don't go shopping for 2 weeks at a time. They don't fill their pantries. Now, let's take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Of course, you can say, "Well, I know this person." Okay, look, overall, the mentality over there is to eat fresh. You don't fill your cabinets with processed foods. Even the restaurants and the places that you would eat would make the food fresh, right? And so it was just easy to maintain a healthy lifestyle. We got off work, we went out for walks. They overarchingly have this very healthy mindset. You go to the parks on the weekends and it's filled with the whole family. It's not just a mom out with her kids and sitting there on their phone. I mean, the whole family's there and they're all, taking part in these physical activities. So then we came here to Waynesville, Missouri, Fort Leonard Wood, and I'd never lived anywhere this small, this rural, rural,
Rural?
rural. How do you say that? Rural. And I was just like in reverse culture shock, I think, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I've never lived anywhere like this. Here we are, an interracial family. And what is this going to look like? And as soon as we got here, people were like, don't go out the back gate, don't go here, don't go there. And it was just like, oh my God, like what's going to happen? Where are we? And I missed my family. I say family, my friends in Germany that were like family. I missed my everything. I missed everything about it. And I just kind of sunk into a depression and was like, I hate this place. And I just slowly, without even realizing it, got one by one, just all these negative, really bad habits just sunk back in. I started eating fast food because it's everywhere here, and it's so available all the time. All the processed foods, everything. And it was just like little by little. And I just kind of lost myself, It was really tough. It was a tough transition. That's the only time that I can say that I had a tough transition as a military spouse, was moving from there to here. And it was just, I don't know, it was just really tough. And one day I woke up and I'm like, oh my God, what happened to me? Here I am. I worked really hard because, they say 5 years is that magic number. Usually if people that lose a significant amount of weight can keep it off for 5 years, you're usually in the clear, man. Because it's usually that first 5 years when people fail and they go back to their old habits. And I was like, shit, it's been 9 years. I'm good. I'm not ever going back there. Oh, I was wrong.
Yeah.
So wrong. Mm-hmm.
Well, so yeah, what I hear is like, I'm just sick and tired of feeling this way. I'm going to make a change. I can't live this way anymore. I'm taking my life back. And you got back at it again.
Yeah. So I had we were out floating and we came back and I was like, oh man, my stomach hurts. I feel like I got like really bad gas. I just feel like shit. And turns out I was having my appendix had ruptured. And so I went to the emergency room and had to have emergency surgery. And my surgeon that did the surgery was actually a bariatric surgeon also. Mm-hmm. And so we skipped over a little part. Back in 2012, I had a doctor and she said, you're really trying to lose this weight. Why don't you try getting the lap band, and I was really scared of surgery. I didn't want a major surgery. And she goes, the lap band is very not, it's the least risky of all the weight loss surgeries. And this could help you get back on track. And so that's what I did. I was like, oh yeah, sure. Let me try this. I did a little bit of research, not a lot. So I went in 2012 and had lap band surgery and, it was a combination of the surgery and my mindset that wasn't ready for it because, the way the doctor said, made it sound, it was like, oh, this is a magic pill. This is going to help you not consume as much food. But I really wasn't mentally ready to make all the changes necessary. And so I lost maybe 30 pounds, but then it shifted and I started having some complications and I was like, well, this didn't work, So now here I am with this device in me. And, I'm like, I felt like a failure again, because once you lose 100 pounds, you're like, I can do this again. I got this. No. So I wish I would have realized it's not all about willpower. So it's not that I lacked the willpower. There's a lot of other factors in there. But so in 2015, when I had the appendectomy, the surgeon goes, I see you got a lap band. So how's that working out for you? Well, it's not, but it's,
Yeah.
it's up here. He goes, well, when you're ready, why don't you come see me? We'll take it out and we'll talk. But I had to get right in my mind. I couldn't
Yeah.
jump into it. I needed to really just sit back and reassess and do a lot of work on myself before I committed to weight loss surgery, right? Like I mean, that's a big, big thing. And it's not a
Hmm.
magic pill. And it's a lot of fucking work, man. It's so hard. And so in 2018, 2017, I went back and saw him and I'm like, okay, I think I'm ready. And he said, okay, well, let's do this. And so in 2018, I had the lap band removed and I had gastric sleeve surgery. And I was just committed. I was all in. I basically, when I jump in, I kind of get obsessive about something and I've really just done all the research, done the work on myself, really focused on changing my mindset to
Hmm.
get ready to um, this was it. Like, this was my Hail Mary. I've got to do this. And so I listened to the doctors and I went to the nutritionists and I went to the therapists and I did what I needed to do in order to be successful. And I put in the hard work. So it was really hard fucking work. And it still is. I mean, it's never not going to be. But at least I know that now. And so, yeah, I put in the hard work and did it again. But this time I feel like I did it by setting myself up for success with my actions, getting involved in fitness,
Hmm.
getting involved in a fitness community, surrounding myself with like-minded people who are also into fitness versus, um, you know, I still hang. I don't want to say this in a negative way because I don't want anyone to think that I feel like they made me do anything, but you are a part of the people you're around. And so if you're around people that have a different mindset, maybe a more unhealthy mindset, it's going to make it easier for you to make bad choices.
Yeah, you're the average of the people you spend the most time with. So, if your friends are smoking and drinking, you're probably spending time smoking and drinking. If
Yeah.
you're, in the community of getting after it and running community, and that's ultimately how we met. It was through. I don't know the old Angie. I have a hard time like visualizing old Angie because I have only known you as do hard things, get after it, full of life, Angie.
Mhm.
And that's how we ultimately met. I'm trying to think of like when was the first time I met you? Maybe through an RWB event or some other kind of running event of some kind,
Yeah.
somewhere in the fitness realm.
Yeah.
And I think you hit the nail on the head because as I've worked with people, the fitness starts with mindset.
Yeah.
It's all in the mindset, and it's having discipline, and it's the cards are stacked against us in the everything is so easy. I mean, there's sugar in everything and drive-throughs are abundant and it is so incredibly difficult to make the right healthy choices that you need accountability
Yeah.
and you need to have some sense of discipline and you got to get the mind right to stay on
Well,
that path because it's hard.
yes. And I can tell you when I first lost weight, I only did it for superficial reasons. I did it because I wanted to change the way I looked. That was it. That's all I cared about. I didn't care about, I mean, yeah, I exercised, right? I would push out 2 miles at most because that's what I saw the army guys doing. That's what Rudy did. All my army friends, they were doing two. Okay. So I would force myself to do 2 miles and I would
Mhm.
go to the gym, but only, I wasn't, informing myself. I wasn't becoming educated on building muscle, how it affects you. All those things are so important. All I cared about was being skinny, looking like what society showed me I needed to look like to feel good inside, and to be accepted by everybody. Right? That was my pure motivation, and that is not the right motivation. I can tell you that right now. Now, the second go around, when I committed to it, I did it to be healthy.
Mhm.
Being a smaller version of myself was just a very good byproduct, but it's not about, I don't care. I care what size I am as far as health wise, right? But it's not about, I need to look this way. This is just what happens when you put in the work, eat right, exercise, and on that same token, um, you can still be a larger version of of what society says and still be healthy. Because you look at power lifters, you look at people that lift really strong weights, they're not unhealthy, you know, look at them. They're a larger version of what we think society, what we think healthy people should look like.
Yeah.
So that's just something that, that weighs on my mind a lot when I see and hear people talk about, because I know I was one of them. I'll never forget this. We were in Germany and I met this girl, Sarah, and she played water polo in college. She was short, stocky little girl, just as thick as a brick house. I mean, she looked powerful. In my mind, right? In my society worked mind, I was like, oh, wow. She told me she ran a marathon. I was like, what? You ran a marathon? How could you do that? And I remember like saying these words to her, and she's like, well, I trained for it. I'm like, no fucking way. I mean, and I was in awe of her. Like I would tell her all the time, dude, you're awesome. I just can't believe you ran a marathon. But it wasn't, I couldn't believe she ran a marathon. I couldn't believe she didn't look like the stereotypical super skinny, lean runner and her body was able to do that, because I didn't know. Right. And so I'm kind of like, I really am just shifting my mindset toward really wanting to change society's perception of what an athlete should look like and what healthy people should look like.
Kind of going back to what we're talking about is like, unhealthy food is everywhere. Like marketing is a way to influence our buying decisions, and marketing has, in an effort to sell a variety of different products, it's same with social media. Everyone putting their best foot forward. Well, marketing and companies are trying to put their best foot forward. And so it's so powerful. It's ingrained these images of what we're all supposed to be like.
Uh-huh.
And that's why we have like this, it's such a weird thing that I find myself in front of the mirror sometimes. I was like, oh, I got tucked in. Like, it's so powerful because of what we believe we're supposed to be. And we all have this feeling that we might be falling a little bit short because of that. And it's so incredibly powerful and destructive.
It is.
And so many people are struggling with that mentally.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm telling you, if we can slowly change people's perception of what a healthy, fit person looks like, right?
Yeah.
What they can look like, I think that will help more people commit and understand and realize that it's attainable. It's there. You just have to do the work up here.
Yeah.
And you have to block out, think about how much time people spend on social media or watching TV, and you're constantly, you see all companies are very slowly getting better about putting a different looking athlete in their advertising. But for the most part, what do you see?
Yeah, I'm starting to notice. They're starting to make that shift, and when they do, it stands out. It's been standing out. I think it's why companies are probably maybe starting to do more of that, because it's like, we're having we're standing out a little bit, but all in an effort to sell product, right? So, but I think you're absolutely right. It goes to education, being more than just surface level, superficial, doing it for the right reason, doing it because you want to be healthy. If you do it for that deeper reason of just wanting to be healthy, you're going to change, and you're going to, that should be the second and third order effect. If you go at it with, hey, I'm educating myself on what these things do for me, and you start changing the lifestyle, it's going to be more beneficial for you and more effective.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what advice, if someone was listening to this and they're like, just feeling like, I know I need to get healthy. I know I have a whole bunch of bad habits. I have a certain image, but I know that I'm on the wrong track with my health and wellness. And what advice would you give them to get started?
I would say you've got to start with your brain. You've got to start with your mental health first. And while working on your mental health, you need to educate yourself on the steps that you can take. And you don't have to, I would say baby steps, right? So, baby steps, start with your nutrition, go to a good nutritionist, find someone, don't go to someone that's going to just push pills or surgery. Yeah, I had surgery, right? But don't go somewhere where they're just going to push these aids, right? Go somewhere where they're going to try to educate you on the right things to do first, right? And then get your mind wrapped around it. Decide you're going to do the hard work, because it's going to be hard work. It's going to be so hard. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, see who's going to be there to support you. I'm super lucky. My friends that I had before surgery are still my friends after surgery. And when I was going through the process, they didn't call me and ask me to go out to the bar. They didn't call, even though we used to go to trivia night once a week, bingo night once a week. I mean, we were out there at Hoppers drinking twice a week, eating Hoppers food. Not that it's bad. I love you, Hoppers. But, be prepared to make a complete and total lifestyle shift, at least while you get your head right.
Yeah.
You've got to do that, right? And then look into what fitness activities are you going to do to help with the nutrition, to help change yourself from the inside out. And you just got to block out the noise, and you just got to focus and really dig deep and get it done, because it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, because when you go on a diet, and you get around your friends and they're like, there's a big cake there or something like that, they start making fun of you a little bit, and it's always, there's a lot of things that are going to be stacked against you that are going to make you, if you're not strong enough, that willpower isn't strong enough, you're going to capitulate and eat the bite of cake, right? And do all of those things.
Well, and part of that, so I don't mean to cut you off, but part of that is when you're doing your nutrition, you really need to start out, find an app that you can track everything you're putting in your mouth. Don't get so hung up on the numbers as far as, oh my God, I went over by 20 calories. That's not going to make a difference, guys. It's not. But you need to be aware of the things that you're putting in your body and how they're affecting it. I remember the first time I told Rudy how many calories were in a Cinnabon. He was like, I can't, I'm done. I'm never going to eat one again. And, but he didn't realize. So you need to take action to understand what you're putting in your mouth, how it's affecting you, and what you can do to change that and to replace that without feeling deprived, if that makes sense.
That's the key, because there's you see a lot of health and wellness stories where people have a big shift where they jumped in off the couch doing an Ironman, or they jumped in right into P90X, so it's an extreme. Mm-hmm. And although there are those situations, I'm kind of in your camp, as I start slow and work your way into it, because what's going to happen is you jump in, you get burned out, you get injured, and then you go right back to your old ways. But I think if you take incremental baby steps, and you start making it a part of your daily lifestyle, it's just easier. It's easier to sustain for the long haul. And if you stick with it long enough, you're going to see results.
Well, and you got to understand, you're going to have to try 100 million different things, right?
Yes.
So you can't get discouraged. Women, right? This is usually what I say to women, just because you don't go to a store, pick out a bra off the shelf, put it on and wear it. Like, you try on 100 different bras to see what's the right fit. You take the time. To try on different jeans, to see what fits. It's the same thing with health and nutrition. You have to try different things. You have to go at it at different ways. And if this nutritionist is only set in one way of doing things, then maybe you got to try somebody else, right? Yeah. You got to be open-minded and willing to try what works for you. But when you find what works for you, it's going to click. It's just like with exercise. People hate running. I hated running until I did it for a purpose. And then I did it enough, and I'm like, oh my God, I love it. Like, I love it. Yeah. I've been to so many different types of group fitness classes that I'm like, this sucks. I don't ever want to come back. Working out should not be torture. Working out should be one of the best part of your days. It should be a release. It should make you feel so good that you look forward to doing it. Working out shouldn't be, oh my God, I got to go to the gym today. Oh my God, I got to go work out. This sucks. It should never be that way. And if it is, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. You need to find something that works for you.
Yeah, if it feels like a chore, like sometimes you need that discipline of doing it. But as a running coach, what I tell my newer runners, even if you're brand new and you haven't, let's find something to train for, so you have something to look forward to. Because there are some days that you're going to have to do the work and show up, but it shouldn't. Every routine should not feel like it's absolute work, and you shouldn't be like begrudging it every single time, right? So we do need to dabble and find some things, like what are some activities that you enjoy? I mean, that's how you fell into roller derby, which is such a niche thing, right?
Mhm.
And I'm gonna say this wrong. When I first met you, you were instructing with the drumming.
Pound. Yeah, pound.
Pound, yes, which I thought was super cool because it's an exercise routine and class based on drumming, right? Which is super cool.
Full body workout. If you have
Yeah.
a pound class near you, I tell everybody you should try it. I fell in love with it. I became an instructor before I could even get through a whole class. Like that's how much I loved it. And I would still be doing it, but unfortunately I can't right now. I've got a bone spur in my thumb joint, some arthritis going on. So I can't do it right now. But I still love it. I love pound. Love it.
So it's ultimately just dabbling with things and finding something that you enjoy. Just keep trying different outdoor activities until you can find something that keeps you active, right? And dabble, because that's how you ran into those things. Because those aren't mainstream activities.
No. And while you're there, talk to some people, make some friends, and then you guys can keep each other accountable.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All about the accountability. The tribe that you roll with is incredibly, incredibly important. So I think that's significant. And a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym. They're going to be looking at me. And there's always that hesitation. I don't want to go to that run group. I'm going to be so slow. Mm-hmm. And by and large, for most people in the health and wellness space, they embrace other people. That's what I found. Yeah, you're going to find there's just 10% of people are
there's assholes everywhere. Yeah. For the most part, most people want to see you succeed. And
they want to be around other like-minded people, and they want to see you succeid and cheer you on. And they want, selfishly, I want other runners to be there so we can suffer together, right?
Yes.
I want to share that with everyone.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So, well, I appreciate you being here, and we're gonna get to know more Angi in future podcasts. But we're right about a half hour. I know we both got to bounce out and get on with our Mondays. But I want to transition now to our weekly wake up winner. So give me just a second here. Let me share my screen here, and I love this. This is my favorite.
Me too.
That's my favorite part. The best part. So, all right. So this week's winner is. You see my screen? This is Katie Tomlin, and you see a photo with Angi and Katie. I have been working with Katie in her running goals. She was referred by a good friend, and we've been working together since she's been here at Fort Leonard Wood. And she just recently crushed the Chicago Marathon. She ran 3 hours and 21 minutes. 3 hours and 21 minutes. This is her first marathon. She's a 5K runner. Super excited to work with her because she's a pretty fast athlete. And I'm like, okay, I'm excited to see, where she can take this. Now she's probably she's gonna yell at me when I say this, but the night that this is funny, then the night before that she traveled to Chicago. She calls me. She's like, Jay, I left my running shoes in my duffel bag at the house. We're like, okay. And she's like kind of freaking out a little bit. Like, okay, we got this, right? Let's. And we re-tempered some expectations, and I'll be honest, I kind of temper her expectations. Let's just go. Let's just have fun. She's dealing with another injury. I'm like, this is your first marathon. I just want you to enjoy it. Yeah. No, she went out the gate and just destroyed this thing and got a Boston qualifying finish time. So completely exceeded expectations. And Katie's just an awesome person. And aside from just this run, like she's a gritty person. She did llama with your team. Yeah. And just a selfish. Go ahead.
No, she crushed it. She crushed it. We were just talking about. She crushed those hills. Like she was just like, oh, and she was like. At one point, she's like, I shouldn't have had all those fries, but she was. She was like, oh my god, she's awesome.
Yeah. So she's a wonderful mom. She's a devoted wife. She's married to someone who's in the military. And does a lot of work in the community. Does some very tough work in that space. Just an overall selfless, caring person, and just gritty, and embodies what it is to be part of the Do Hard Things Nation. Being very gritty, and so this week's winner, we're going to send you a shirt. So thanks, Katie, for all you do, and just demonstrate, just being a role model, just being a kick-ass person. So, yeah,
Katie, you rock.
Katie rock. All right. Keep it up. So I'm excited to see what her future endeavors in running and other things that she's working on holds out for her.
Yeah.
So.
Heck yeah.
All right. Well, Angi, thanks for being on this morning. What else we want to hit before we call it a day?
Hey, don't forget to do something that makes you smile today.
Yeah. What are some examples? What are you going to do to make someone smile today?
I'm going to work, man. I love my job.
You have an awesome job.
I do. Yeah, I'm a photographer for the Army. I'm a civilian photographer. But even when I was at another job that maybe I didn't like so much, will remain unsaid. You always got to find something that makes you smile. And I remember going in sometimes, and I would try to find a fun song to play for my team as we first got there. Just a lighthearted, just a good song. And it just made us all smile, and it made the suck less, right? So whatever it is, no matter how small it is, find something to do that makes you smile, and that will help you get through your day. Even if you're smiling, you don't even have to smile outside. I mean, it helps because I like seeing people smile.
Well, sometimes you got to do things you don't necessarily want to do. Mondays can definitely be tough, but it's amazing how simple things go into things with intention. How can you bring joy to someone else? And it's amazing how music can change your mood. Yeah. So, yeah, simple things. Well, for everyone out there, keep doing hard things. Crush this Monday in the palm of your hand. Angie, it was great to get to know you a little bit, and I look forward to future episodes with you. And yeah, that's for everyone out there. Keep doing hard things. We'll see you guys next episode.
All right, we'll see you.